We have a new guild boss leader, and this is DEEPBLUESEA, Nightmare for World Ranking. So let's check out this bad boy and what type of team he's using. 92,000 hit, a single one, and the interesting here is this is actually one of the teams that are not using that are using both Zito and West in same team. So I'm very excited to see who is on the top of the food chain of these heroes. So I'm going to just see, and on first place, oh my god, this Hex again. I guess the Hex is getting more and more popular since to be on the top you have to put your best gear, and we all know that most of the people, especially people like me, have like 1, 2 or 3 strong gear that they put on their heroes, and the rest of the gear is just some kind of combination to hit your critical rate, to boost your critical damage a little. You get the idea. So on the top is Hex, second place is Arrogance. This is very strange. On the third place is this guy that I'm not so sure I know his name. On the fourth place is Zito. After this is Wusk. We have here Volca. Now I'm not quite sure why the people are using Volca, since maybe for the defense break, since her ultimate is I think lowering the defense and magic defense, if I remember correctly. And we have Theodore that also was in the battle with 1% damage. Now Theodore have a passive, every hit he's lowering the defense down, he's making defense down of the enemy. So let's check out the heroes. I mean, we're going to look on the top of 5 just to see if I'm correct about the heroes. Now I need Volca. Where is Volca? Come on, Volca. She's a free-to-play player hero. I mean, you're going to get her from finishing the tail of the Volca. So we have vulnerability. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'm going to move my head a little. Yeah, something like this. Physical damage. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Physical damage taken 10% and magic damage taken 10%, and of course Theodore. Where is Theodore? Yeah, by every hit he do defense reduction, that is lowering the defense by 20%. Pretty decent combo if you want to make a strong damage on specific time. But let's go back to our number 1, the Deep Sea. So let's check out his heroes. First I'm going to start on the top, and this is Hex. Keep in mind here you don't have that many heroes, legendary heroes 5-time awakened. We have just Arrogance, Lustin is 3 times awakened, and Zito is 4 times awakened. So but still the Hex is just 3 times awakened. We have the exclusive Hex artifact that's increasing damage by 30%, can rapidly draw cards during the ultimate. This is, I think this is the moment that the Hex is doing his great damage. So yeah, this is the artifact. Of course this set is increasing attack and attack speed. Very important for marksman is this attack speed, especially if you have to draw your cards. You definitely want to stick some attack speed on your heroes, but here we don't see attack speed. We just see critical rate, critical damage, and attack bonus. Now when I'm going to go over each of the elements, it's just, oh my god, this thing here is absolutely treasure. Critical damage, attack bonus, critical rate, attack speed. This is a treasure ring. GG on this ring. Since, yeah, how many critical damage? 346. This is pretty standard for the people who is on the top, and 102% critical rate, very decent. Also sticking on attack speed. I can even say something like on the first place you need attack bonus. If you get a good ring with the critical damage, definitely use that one. On On the second place is critical rate. You want to be on this 100% mark, and after this you can go for attack speed. As you can see, the attack speed is the lowest point here. Fully awakened, not fully awakened, 3 times awakened, but fully skill up, and with this artifact it is doing massive damage. So this so far for Hex. Jumping on the place number 2, and this is Arrogance. Now he's on the place 2 since there is a Wust in the team. Obtain hero was to unlock the fouling bonus effect, increase attack by 15% during the effect of Hellfire. I think the Hellfire was his ultimate, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and basically when the Hex is doing his not Hex, Arrogance are doing his ultimate is basically when he do the massive damage. Personally, my Arrogance are hitting like 300 or 400,000 damage. One of the strongest hit I have in my team. So huge thumbs up for this hero. The artifact is summoning this shade, dealing 40% chance to summon dealing damage, has 40% chance to summon one shadow guard with 150 of the hero attributes to attack the enemy for 10 seconds. Now there is a thing with these shadows, and this is if you place your hero on the guild boss with before the rest of the heroes, the shadow can appear and actually prevent you to drop your specific hero on this place, since the shadow actually take this place for 10 seconds. So I'm not huge fan of this one, but if you go for Arrogance and you have this artifact, just place him last, because you have to wait the shadow if the shadow actually drop on specific place, even with auto attacks. So yeah, about the gear, critical damage is strange that I see more and more people actually stick to this gear that is providing with critical damage, even though there is a gear that is increasing your attack and attack speed. So yeah, here the attack bonus is 27%. No surprise this guy is going for this one. Critical rate is lower, but if you have a good gears further, like 23-25% critical rate, you can compensate for this critical rate here, and the critical damage is 28%. And as you can see, the critical rate is 102%, so it's compensated from the rest of the items. Here is 20%. You have 5 items, so in these 5 items you want to have around 20% the critical rate, so you can hit as a second status your critical rate. Never go for critical rate as main attribute of your rings. So here we have critical damage. Here the critical rate is again around 20%. Again, pretty decent attack bonus. This is very good. Very good ring, and here the critical rate is 24%, so it's going to compensate, and here is 23.5%, so this is like 7.5% extra critical rate that is going to compensate the weapon, even though this these damages here, this status is absolutely insane. So huge thumbs up for Arrogance. Is my favorite hero, my top DPS, doing even outperforming Zito, but I don't have a lot of him for now. I have Twinfield, but yeah. So on second place, who was this guy here? Now I didn't learn this guy name from long time, since I don't know, it's just little maybe hard for me. So Cadence. He is a word Inferno. So here, just to mention, we have 2 words. We have Tudor and we have Cadence. So this guy is on second place. The damage he's doing and the ultimate is also great, but here we see attack speed, and I mean attack percentage. This is pretty lower gear, and it's strange for me that the person actually go with this gear with just 25% attack. I mean, you can easily get your legendary items. I mean, he already have his legendary items on the first place, where is Hex, and here is 25%, but extra giving 30 attack speed. So it's a little strange for me that he's using these items. Attack bonus, critical rate is not even a good one from first look. Here we have attack bonus, critical rate, and some defense and critical damage. So in total, the critical rate is 105, the critical damage is less, 267. This is like 100 less critical damage from rest of the heroes. But here we have good attack speed, and the attack is 20,000. This is this is huge amount of damage. Of course, here we have critical rates as some kind of compensation for this 16 critical rate. You have to somehow build your team, of course, depending on your heroes, but I think over 80% critical rate is fine. It's fine. I mean, if you can get more critical damage at cost a little of the critical rate, not to make your critical rate like 50%. No, we're looking over 80% critical rate is going to be absolutely fine. And final rank is attack bonus, critical rate. It's basically same status, I think, for everybody. So who was on the 4th place is Zito and was. So Zito is actually having a costume, just to say that. Again, this artifact. I'm not so sure how they're going to place this these heroes. I think from behind. I mean, the first line is not going to be with these heroes, just because, again, this artifact can take the place of your hero. So you have to place those heroes, the was one. Here we have critical rate 103%. The critical damage is decent, 435. You don't see this every day. And the attack is 14,000. It's not like 20,000 like the previous hero. This is like 6,000 difference. Oh my god. But anyway, continue. Ace and mythical gear, absolutely fine. Here is with critical damage bonus. I see more and more. This is not a legendary gear, but I see more and more people using that. Oh brother. I really like this ring, seriously. Critical damage 72%, attack bonus, and critical rate and attack speed is huge. They're at the end. They're even yellow. Very good ring. Here critical rate we have again. Stick it at the critical damage, very important. Both of these two rings are critical damage, and I'm going to surprise it if the last one is a critical damage. No, it's attack bonus. Critical rate, critical damage going to close to 30%. Decent again. Attack speed and rage regeneration. So huge thumbs up for Zito. First damage, burning. I'm not going to go over the spells. Maybe if there is something important that need to be mentioned, then I will go over the skills, but yeah, right now no. And finally we have Wust. Now Wust, from first look, 104% critical rate, and the critical damage is 420. Now both of these two heroes have pretty decent critical damage. Also the critical rate is also 100%. All the heroes here have 100% critical rate. But surprising fact is the Zito is on the place 4 and the Wust is on the place 5. So again, we have this Walling Skull. I really don't know why you have to have that many. I mean, this is a good one. 150% of the hero attributes for 10 seconds. This is maybe like 4 or 5 hits, if I remember correctly, since I also have this artifact. But yeah, it's a good one. But I'm not so sure where you can place these shadows to do the damage. And yeah, sometimes can break your strategy, but I think it's one of the best items for the fighters. So again, critical damage, weapon, critical rate, critical damage, attack bonus, absolutely fine status. Here you can, yeah, if you can get this status is absolutely fine. If you can get attack speed is going to be absolutely fine also. But the weapons and chest is a flat status. The weapon is going to be flat attack and the chest is going to be flat HP. Here also have decent one, attack bonus, critical rate, critical damage, and critical damage as a main status. Attack bonus and attack speed is fine. The critical rate is also fine. 90% is fine. Here we have attack bonus, critical damage 25%, this is a decent one. Basic attack damage 40% since he have the full gear. For me it's very hard to get the full gear since this is a lot of farming, and if I get the full gear it's going to be just one time, and there is a people here who have this combination for like 5 heroes, and this is anyway. And the last one is with critical damage, so again 2 with critical damage and 1 with attack bonus. The final one, attack bonus 25%, attack speed and critical rate, all fine, looking perfectly. So on the top is a DEEPBLUESEA. We check his profile. This is his top heroes. Also, this is the worst, I think, is that all, or maybe the worst things he actually gets from the achievement. So yeah, pretty decent account. Arrogance, I don't see much this hero Andrea, even though he's absolutely great hero, but yeah, everybody play with what they like. There is a specific heroes for the guild boss, so everybody choose what they want to play with. So this will be for today, rank number 1 in the Nightmare 4 guild boss. If you want to check my video about my gear and the gear trash and why do I delete those gear, I'm going to put one video here, so I hope you enjoyed. If you do, hit one like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.